But guess who he pulls up with?
Who?
With Madonna, man.
Yeah.
And he comes in, he's got a big bag of that do-it fluid. He tells her, have a seat. She looks at me. I look at her, I say, oh, wow, that's Madonna.
Back then, people thought that you and Pac were dating.
Yep, we did.
Oh, y'all did date?
Yeah, we did date.
That's real?
Mm-hmm, that's real, yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
How long did y'all date?
Oh, goodness. All his life.
He was trying to figure out how he could exact his revenge on Big. And then he was going to fuck one of his bitches.
Do you know why Jada Pinkett betrayed Tupac? Back in the 80s, Tupac and Jada met at the Baltimore School for the Arts. They weren't in the same class, but their friendship was deep, almost like soulmates. They spent a lot of time together, attending school events and sharing a passion for the arts. Tupac even said in an interview that he would donate a lung, heart, or kidney for Jada if she needed it. Their bond was more than just friendship. According to Tupac's cousin, during the time Tupac was falsely imprisoned, he even proposed to Jada. But after Tupac was released and joined Death Row Records, everything changed.
Tupac wasn't just another rapper. He was a full-blown legend, a larger-than-life figure who left a wild trail of fame, music, and high-profile relationships behind him. From Hollywood actresses to huge pop stars, Pac's love life stayed just as talked about as his music. Now we're diving into every woman Tupac was connected with, starting way back before the fame even hit. Back when Tupac was still in high school, he studied acting at the Baltimore School for the Arts. That's where he crossed paths with his first famous girlfriend, Jada Pinkett Smith. The two met as teenagers chasing big dreams, both drawn to acting, poetry, and creative expression. Their connection sparked quickly, and people around them could already see they had a powerful bond. Life wasn't easy for either of them growing up. Jada dealt with serious challenges at home while trying to find her path, and Tupac was also raised in a tough environment. His mother, Afeni Shakur, struggled with addiction, which meant Pac understood hardship from an early age. That shared struggle brought the two even closer, and they leaned on each other while focusing on art and ambition. Pac even wrote poems inspired by Jada, and many fans believe she influenced some of his earliest creative work. But as Jada began stepping away from dangerous surroundings and focusing on her future, Tupac started moving deeper into the street lifestyle that would later shape his image. Then, during his senior year, Pac's family moved all the way to Marin City, California.
Aligned himself with Suge Knight and got caught up in a fierce rivalry with Diddy. Tupac became more violent and extreme, which made Jada very uncomfortable. Eventually, their differences became too much to reconcile, and they completely lost touch. This once deep friendship became distant, and it was one of the biggest losses in Jada's life. Although she never fully let go of her connection with Tupac, her marriage to Will Smith was also affected by the past. Interestingly, to maintain the family's reputation and secure their children's future, Jada and Will had to work together and integrate into Hollywood's elite circles, even attending Diddy's infamous freak-off party.
Even with the distance across the country, Pac and Jada stayed connected and continued supporting each other's rise in the entertainment world. Tupac even helped Jada land her very first acting role in the movie Menace to Society. Pac was originally supposed to appear in the film too, but things went left fast. Reports say he started having serious issues on set and even got into a heated fight with one of the directors, Alan Hughes. After that clash, Tupac was removed from the project, but Jada stayed in the movie, and that role helped kickstart her rise in Hollywood. Jada later showed love right back to Pac by helping him get a guest appearance on the TV show A Different World. She also showed up in a couple of his music videos, including Keep Your Head Up and Temptations. Their bond stayed strong through all of it, and fans constantly wondered if their connection was deeper than friendship. But according to Jada, things never turned romantic between them. She has said many times that she and Tupac were never involved in that way, and that she saw him more like family. In her words, Pac was like a brother, someone she trusted and cared about deeply. Even years after Tupac's passing, Jada still speaks about him often. She once described him as a true soulmate, but she also revealed that when Tupac proposed to her in 1995 while he was locked up at Rikers Island, she turned him down, believing marriage during that moment in his life wouldn't be the right move. Even though Jada has always said there was never real romantic chemistry between her and Tupac, she still believed they had a deep connection that felt almost destined. In her eyes, they understood each other in a way very few people ever could. Pac kept in contact with Jada for years, right up until the end of his life. But as his fame exploded, Tupac started getting surrounded by more celebrities, and that included some of the biggest names in entertainment.
A lot of people might not know, but he proposed to you while he was in jail.
I talk about this in the book when I go to see him in Rikers, when I wrote about that in the book, and when I had to talk about it, speak my words for the audible version of the book. That was probably one of the more painful parts, seeing him there, the condition that he was in, and having to leave him there. And
by 1993, Tupac's star power was rising fast. His performance as Bishop in Juice had people talking everywhere, and his breakout album, Strictly for My Niggas, was making major noise in the rap world. With his fame growing by the day, all kinds of famous women started paying attention to him, including one of the biggest pop icons on the planet, Madonna. Tupac first crossed paths with Madonna after actress Rosie Perez introduced him. It all happened around the 1993 Soul Train Awards. Madonna's original date never showed up, leaving her in an awkward spot, so she asked Rosie if she could introduce her to Tupac. When Rosie told Pac that Madonna was interested, he stepped in and became her date for the night. After that unexpected meeting, Tupac and Madonna quietly started seeing each other, but they kept the relationship completely secret from the public. At the time, Madonna was already a global superstar, and while Tupac's fame was rising quickly, he was also surrounded by controversy. If the relationship had gone public back then, it would have dominated headlines everywhere. Because of the pressure and attention surrounding both of them, Tupac and Madonna decided it was better to keep their relationship completely under the radar. But when two global stars are spending time together, secrets usually don't stay hidden for long. Eventually, people close to Pac started noticing what was really going on. Snoop Dogg later talked about the situation during an appearance on the Howard Stern show, and even he said he was surprised when he realized Madonna was hanging around Tupac.
when he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers. And I knew at that time that, A, he needed somebody to do time with him, which I was going to do anyway. He didn't have to marry me. I'm here.
I see why we love you.
And then he needed a rock. He needed, because of our friendship and because of everything we had been through together, he just wanted to feel that solidified foundation.
According to Snoop, he was in New York hosting Saturday Night Live and told Pac to pull up after the show and bring some weed. Snoop expected Tupac to arrive with a regular date, but he had no idea Pac was actually spending time with one of the biggest pop stars on the planet. Tupac and Madonna reportedly dated for more than a year before eventually going their separate ways in 1995. What's even crazier is that the public had no clue about the relationship at the time. The truth didn't fully come out until years later, when Madonna finally confirmed it herself during a 2015 interview on the Howard Stern show. Years after Tupac and Madonna quietly ended things, their secret relationship was confirmed in a shocking way. TMZ released a personal letter that Tupac had written to Madonna while he was in prison, and the message revealed exactly why their relationship came to an end. In the letter, Tupac explained that the breakup had a lot to do with public image and pressure. He told Madonna that as a white woman dating a black man, it likely wouldn't damage her reputation and might even make her look more rebellious or bold in the public eye. But from his perspective, he felt that being seen dating a white woman could disappoint parts of his community and hurt how people viewed him. Because of that pressure, Pac made the difficult decision to walk away from the relationship.
I was dating Tupac Shakur at the time, and the thing is, he got me all riled up about life in general. So when I went on this show, I was feeling very gangster.
I didn't know you dated Tupac Shakur.
That was a surprise.
That's never been out there, I don't think.
Even in the letter, Tupac showed respect and regret. He apologized to Madonna for hurting her feelings and even invited her to come visit him while he was locked up. The message gave fans a rare look into how conflicted Pac felt during that time of his life. But by the time that relationship ended, Tupac had already crossed paths with another woman who would soon become extremely important in his life, Keisha Morris. Pac first met Keisha in 1994 at the Capitol nightclub in New York. Their first conversation only lasted a few minutes, but fate stepped in when they ran into each other again at another club. What shocked Keisha was that Tupac remembered every detail of their earlier conversation. Pac told her he had actually been trying to find her for months, and eventually he convinced her to give him a phone number. At the time, though, Tupac's life was already surrounded by serious legal trouble, as he was in the middle of fighting a sexual assault case and constantly dealing with court appearances. Keisha Morris was only 20 years old when she met Tupac, and the people around her were worried right away. Her parents warned her to be careful about getting involved with someone living such a chaotic and high-profile lifestyle. But Keisha followed her heart and kept seeing Pac anyway, even with all the drama surrounding his name. Their relationship moved incredibly fast. After only a few months of dating, Tupac surprised her with a proposal. Keisha said yes, believing in him and standing by his side during one of the most difficult moments of his life. Not long after, though, Tupac was convicted on sexual abuse charges, along with other legal issues, and in December 1994, he was sent to prison. Even while he was locked up, Keisha stayed loyal. She visited Tupac constantly and supported him through the heavy prison sentence hanging over his head. During that time, the two even decided to get married while Pac was still behind bars. Keisha later shared that she spent a lot of time visiting him in jail, doing everything she could to keep his spirits up while he waited for a chance to get out. At first, Tupac didn't have the money needed for the massive $3 million bond required for release, but everything changed when Suge Knight stepped in and offered to cover the bond if Pac signed with Death Row Records. Once Tupac got out, he jumped straight back into music and the fast life that came with being one of the biggest rappers in the world. That's when things between him and Keisha started to shift. While she had stood by him through court dates and prison visits, life after his release felt different. Pac was focused on the studio, the spotlight, and the industry. At one point, when he finally posted bail, Keisha said he didn't even call to tell her she was free. She ended up calling the jail herself just to figure out what had happened. Even Keisha flew back to New York hoping Tupac might still need her support after everything they had been through together. But the moment she arrived, the situation turned cold fast. One of Pac's family members reportedly told her, "You had your 15 minutes of fame, now we'll take over from here." Hearing that hit hard, and right then, Keisha realized the relationship was truly finished.
I got a phone call the next day. He called me and he's like, "I did it." And I'm like, "What? What you did?" He's like, "That bitch just left my hotel." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I fucked Faith."
Not long after that moment, Tupac and Keisha officially split. Their marriage had only lasted about 10 months. Even though things didn't work out between them, the two reportedly stayed on good terms. Pac still cared about her and even believed that one day they might find their way back to each other. But while Tupac was still technically married, another woman had already entered the picture, Kidada Jones. Kidada was the daughter of legendary music producer Quincy Jones and actress Peggy Lipton. She came from a powerful Hollywood family, and her path crossing with Tupac would turn into one of the most talked about relationships of his life. Ironically, things between Pac and Kidada didn't start smoothly at all. Back in 1993, Tupac had criticized Quincy Jones during an interview with The Source magazine, claiming he had raised his kids around the wrong influences. So when Tupac and Kidada eventually met in person a few years later, the situation was naturally awkward. Pac later apologized for those comments and tried to make things right. He even gave Kidada his phone number so they could stay in touch. Soon after, their connection started growing quickly. By the third time they saw each other, Tupac was already telling Kidada that he loved her. Then just a few months after his marriage to Keisha ended, Pac proposed to Kidada. Kidada felt the same way about him, and the two became inseparable. Before long, they were living together in a house in Calabasas, California, building what seemed like a serious future together. Kidada truly believed Tupac was the man she would spend the rest of her life with. Their relationship moved fast, and the two were building a future together in their Calabasas home. But everything changed suddenly. Only 4 months after they moved in together, tragedy struck when Tupac was shot in Las Vegas.
I could say this, that man ain't never lied to me one day in his life. I've never caught him in a lie, good, bad, or indifferent. He always kept it real with me, so, I don't see why he would lie.
Kidada had been in the hotel room they were sharing that night when she got the shocking call that Pac had been shot. She rushed straight to the hospital, hoping he would survive. But when she arrived, the situation was already extremely serious. Doctors eventually came to speak with her and delivered the heartbreaking news about his condition. Kidada and Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, were among the last people able to speak with him before he slipped into a coma. Days later, Tupac passed away, leaving behind a massive legacy and countless unanswered questions. Kidada later wrote in her biography that Tupac was the love of her life. She even said she had a strange feeling about going to Las Vegas, but never imagined things would turn out so tragic. The two never got the chance to officially marry, but Kidada was Tupac's final serious girlfriend and the woman by his side near the end. While these were his most well-known relationships, Tupac was also linked to other rumored flings and short romances over the years. One surprising claim even appeared in Bobby Brown's 2016 memoir, where he alleged that Whitney Houston once cheated on him with Tupac.
I think he bust her chair.
Oh, you think she was a virgin?
I think he bust her chair, man. That's that cherry love. Go look at their pictures when she take pictures. She holds her hands like this across his chest.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
They kind of
like,
real snugly together.
bro, I know she married right now, whatever.
Is she though? Because she say her and Will have been separated for like
they're
7
not
years.
divorced, so you married. I think he bust her chair. I think it was real love. Who's gonna propose to somebody they never?
Yeah.
Bobby Brown later claimed that Whitney Houston had relationships with several producers and artists she worked with, but he said the most famous one involved Tupac. According to Bobby, Whitney's connection with Pac supposedly happened during the early years of their marriage. Bobby also shared a very emotional moment from the day they learned Tupac had been killed. He said he and Whitney were together when the news broke, and she immediately started crying uncontrollably. Bobby admitted he was upset about Pac's death too, but it was painful watching his wife break down over another man she had reportedly been involved with. But Bobby later suggested he got his own kind of revenge. In a documentary interview with A&E, he claimed that he once had an affair with Madonna around the same time she was secretly dating Tupac. If that story were true, it would mean several major celebrity relationships were crossing paths behind the scenes. Of course, it's hard to know exactly how accurate Bobby's claims are. His marriage with Whitney Houston was widely known for being extremely turbulent, with both of them dealing with serious personal struggles at the time. Because of that, rumors about outside relationships have always followed their story. And Whitney Houston wasn't the only surprising name linked to Tupac over the years. Another wild rumor suggested that Pac had a connection with Lisa Left Eye Lopes from the legendary R&B group TLC. Lisa Left Eye Lopes from TLC was already known for her fiery personality, especially after the shocking incident where she burned down her boyfriend's house during a heated argument. Around that same era, she had also crossed paths with Tupac early in both of their careers. Tupac and Left Eye first met at an industry event when they were both still rising in the music world. Even though they never officially dated, the two built a surprisingly close friendship. They would send each other artwork and paintings, showing how much they both connected through creativity and self-expression. Just like Jada, Left Eye had a lot of love and respect for Tupac, but their bond never turned into a romantic relationship. At the same time, Left Eye was dealing with a very intense relationship with NFL wide receiver Andre Rison. What made the situation even surprising is that Tupac and Andre actually knew each other and were cool at the time. Andre even had a studio inside his house in Atlanta and once invited Tupac to stay there for a few months so he could work on music. Andre and Left Eye started dating in 1992 after meeting at a club in Atlanta, but their relationship quickly became known for constant drama and emotional ups and downs. About a year after they got together, Andre was arrested after a serious incident involving violence and a firearm during a confrontation with other men.
Well, but then again, if you're in prison.
You wasn't in prison since 1980s when you met her.
No, but she said that he proposed to her when she went to go see him in prison.
Yeah, 94.
94, yeah.
Yeah, and they've been since 86, 87, the same school.
Okay, so you think that Pac took Jada Pinkett's virginity?
I think he bust her chair.
That's a very plausible explanation.
Man, I go on reality.
Yeah.
I don't go on what people answer. See, the questions be complicated, but the answers be simple. Always say, and most times you'll go back and ask for marriage from who? Your first love.
Even after the earlier incidents in their relationship, Left Eye and Andre Rison kept seeing each other. but people around them often said the relationship was extremely unstable and filled with constant arguments. On the night of June 8, 1994, things exploded into one of the most infamous celebrity stories of the decade. Andre came home after being out drinking and reportedly found Left Eye yelling in the driveway. He tried to figure out what was going on, but the situation quickly turned chaotic as the argument escalated. Andre eventually decided to leave the house and stay with one of his teammates, hoping the situation would cool down. But while he was gone, events took a dramatic turn. Left Eye reportedly set a pair of Andre's sneakers on fire inside the bathtub. She also went outside and smashed the windshield of his car using a metal vacuum cleaner pipe during the heated moment. The fire that started in the bathtub quickly spread through the house and eventually burned the entire place down. The incident shocked fans and made headlines everywhere. Andre later claimed that one detail surprised him the most. According to his account, after the fire started, Tupac showed up and picked Left Eye up in a black limousine and drove her away from the scene. Andre said that moment changed how he viewed Tupac, and their friendship was never quite the same after that. After the incident, Left Eye faced serious legal consequences. She was charged with felony arson and later received probation, a large fine, and time in a halfway house as part of her sentence. Tupac was involved in some wild relationship drama over the years, but one of the most shocking stories connected him to the wife of his biggest rival, Biggie Smalls. The woman at the center of that controversy was singer Faith Evans, who was signed to Bad Boy Records and married to Biggie at the time. Faith first met Tupac in 1995, when the East Coast versus West Coast rivalry was already heating up across the rap world. Not long after Tupac got out of prison, he reportedly invited Faith to Los Angeles to work on a track together called Wonder Why They Call You B.
Oh, I wouldn't say Pac is the love of my life, and I wouldn't say that I'm the love of his life either, right? I would say that Pac was just a beautiful expression, a beautiful representation of love in my life.
Interesting.
You know, I don't know if there's such thing as a love of your life. I think that's a very romanticized concept.
Faith agreed to record the song, but she didn't realize right away that Tupac had just signed with Death Row Records, the label that was directly competing with Biggie's Bad Boy label. Before flying out, Faith even asked Biggie if she should do the collaboration. According to her, Biggie told her it was fine, as long as Pac was paying for the feature. When Faith arrived at the studio, she and Tupac recorded the track and even took photos together. Those pictures quickly started rumors that something more might have been going on behind the scenes. Then the situation exploded even bigger when Tupac released his famous diss track, Hit 'Em Up. Right at the start of the song, Pac made a shocking claim about being involved with Faith Evans, aiming the line directly at Biggie and turning the rivalry into one of the most talked about moments in hip-hop history. Tupac pushed the controversy even further on the track with some extremely direct lyrics aimed at Biggie and his crew. In the opening lines, he rapped, "First off, your crew and the clique you claim. West Side, when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I slept with your wife." The song instantly shocked the hip-hop world and made the rivalry even more intense. Faith Evans has always denied that anything actually happened between her and Tupac. However, she has admitted that Pac did try to pursue her during the time they worked together. According to Faith, Pac agreed to pay her $25,000 for recording the song and told her to come to his hotel room to collect the payment. When she arrived, Faith said Pac made a move and suggested something more personal between them. She says she refused and quickly realized he might have been trying to use the situation to get under Biggie's skin during their feud. Still, the rumors never disappeared. Many fans have continued debating the story for years. Another woman linked to Tupac, Desiree Smith, later claimed that Pac had actually been planning the situation for a long time.
I just didn't understand and just how deep-rooted they are in hip-hop as well.
Yeah, oh my gosh, man.
I'm looking at this picture right here of Tupac on the shirt right there, and Tupac asked to marry my mom.
Yeah.
And she was like, we're Pac, like we're best friends.
Right.
Like,
Well, they say maybe your best friend, but I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
Desiree and Tupac had an on and off relationship for about 3 years, and she even visited him several times while he was in jail. According to Desiree, after the situation with Faith happened, Tupac allegedly called her and bragged about it, saying, "I finally did it." That claim only added even more mystery and drama to one of hip-hop's most talked about rivalries. Desiree Smith also claimed that Faith Evans understood exactly how risky the situation was when she agreed to work with Tupac. At the time, Faith's marriage to Biggie Smalls was already falling apart because their relationship had been dealing with constant problems and rumors of cheating. Because of that tension, Desiree believed Faith may have decided to work with Biggie's biggest rival while she was in Los Angeles. According to Desiree, the situation may have been partly about getting back at Biggie during a very messy time in their marriage. Desiree also insisted that Tupac had no reason to lie to her about what happened. From her perspective, she believed he was telling the truth about the situation. Still, the full story has never been confirmed, and people in hip-hop have debated it for years. Whether the rumor was true or not, the drama helped inspire one of the most explosive diss tracks in rap history and pushed the East Coast versus West Coast feud even further into the spotlight. Beyond that controversy, a few other women later claimed they had connections with Tupac before his death. In 2012, an author named Zari Everett released a book called Jump Off, where she alleged she had been involved with Tupac as well as other famous figures like Suge Knight, R. Kelly, and Young Jeezy. The exact details of Tupac's relationship with Zari Everett are still unclear, but in her book, she described Pac as one of the most memorable celebrities she had ever been involved with. Zari said Pac was surprisingly down-to-earth and very different from the intense image many people saw in public. According to her, the private version of Pac was calmer, thoughtful, and easy to talk to.
The world is shocked by the letter from Tupac to Madonna that has been hidden for 20 years.
Tupac Shakur reveals why he broke up with Madonna.
I'm going to never rely on anybody again. I needed to rethink how I was going to continue it.
The pop star is suing to keep Tupac's letter secret.
I sort of had this emptiness that I've had to go out into the world to fill up.
Another woman who later spoke about knowing Tupac was a dope film star, Heather Hunter. She claimed they had a brief fling not long before his death. Heather said the two first connected when Tupac personally called her to appear in the music video for his song, How You Want It. The production team was planning 2 versions of the video, one version that could play during the daytime on MTV, and another version meant for late-night audiences. Because of that idea, Pac invited Heather, along with 2 other adult film performers, Nina Hartley and Angel Kelly, to appear in the more mature version of the video. At first, Heather wasn't sure about joining the project, but she later said Tupac offered a paycheck that was much higher than what she normally earned on a typical video shoot, which convinced her to participate. During the filming, she and Tupac quickly got along and stayed in contact afterward. Heather later claimed their connection grew deeper over time. She said Tupac encouraged her to move from New York to Los Angeles, and the two began seeing each other more often. According to Heather, their bond wasn't just physical. She believed they shared a strong spiritual connection as well. Sadly, only a few months after they met, Tupac was gone. But Heather Hunter isn't the only woman who says she had a deep connection with Tupac near the end of his life. Female rapper Yo-Yo has also spoken about the special bond she shared with him. According to Yo-Yo, the two built a relationship that stayed strong right up until his final days. Tupac and Yo-Yo first met in a recording studio sometime in the early 1990s while both were active in the hip-hop scene. They stayed in touch over the years, and their friendship eventually grew into a brief relationship. For a time, they spent a lot of time together and supported each other in their music careers. But as time passed, Yo-Yo said their relationship naturally shifted. Instead of seeing Tupac as a boyfriend, she began to view him more like family. The bond between them never disappeared, though, and she stayed very close with Pac, and even with members of his family. Tupac was one of the people who went to the hospital after he was shot in Las Vegas. Even though they weren't officially together anymore, she later said the love between them never faded, and that they still cared deeply for each other until the very end. Tupac's time in the spotlight was short, But during those few years, he crossed paths with many famous women and left a powerful impression on the people around him. Even though most of his relationships didn't last forever, many of the women who knew him have said he had a strong presence and a personality they never forgot. If you enjoyed this story and want more deep dives into hip-hop legends and wild celebrity history, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves rap history. And drop a comment below letting us know which Tupac story surprised you the most.